Dear learners, welcome you all to e-learning platform. We are now in week 8. So this week you are going to learn a new novel which is written by David Herbert Lawrence, a British novelist and one of the greatest major modern novelists. So the novel is The Rainbow. Me, Faisal Ahmed, with you throughout this lecture. Let's begin. So in this week we will learn in lesson 1 biography of D.H. Lawrence, David Herbert Lawrence. In lesson 2 we will learn an introduction to the rainbow, a summary. In lesson 3 we will learn introduction to characters, plot and setting. In lesson 4 we will learn paraphrase. Lesson 1 Biography of D.H. Lawrence. Author D.H. Lawrence, regarded today as one of the most influential writers of the 20th century. Born David Herbert Lawrence on September 11, 1885, in a small mining town of Nottinghamshire, England. David Herbert Lawrence was an English writer and poet. His collected works with children extended reflection upon the dehumanization of modernity and industrialization. Lawrence's writing explores issues such as sexuality, emotional health, vitality, sentimentality, and instinct. Early life of David Herbert Lawrence. His father, Arthur John Lawrence, was a local miner. His mother, Lydia Lawrence, worked in the lace-making industry to supplement the family income. Lawrence's mother was from a middle-class family that had fallen into financial ruin, but not before she had become well-educated and a great lover of literature. She instilled in young D.H. Lawrence a love of books and a strong desire to rise above his blue-collar beginnings. Lawrence's works and reputation. D.H. Lawrence is regarded as one of the most influential writers of the 20th century. He published many novels and poetry volumes during his lifetime, including Sons and Lovers, Women in Love. But he is best known for his infamous Lady Chatterley's Lover. The graphic and highly sexual novel was published in Italy in 1928, but was banned in the United States until 1959, and in England until 1960. Garnering fame for his novels and short stories early on in his career, Lawrence later received acclaim for his personal letters, in which he detailed a range of emotions from exhilaration to depression to prophetic brooding. He published his first play, The Daughter-in-Law, in 1912. A year later, he published his first volume of poetry, Love Poems and Others. Later in 1913, Lawrence published his third novel, Sons and Lovers, a highly autobiographical story of a young man and aspiring artist named Paul Morrell, who struggles to transcend his upbringing in a poor mining town. The novel is widely considered Lawrence's first masterpiece as well as one of the greatest English novels of the 20th century. The Rainbow and Women in Love. Lawrence and Frieda von Richardson, her fiancé and later married to him, soon returned to England, where they married on July 13, 1914. That same year, Lawrence published a highly regarded short story collection, The Prussian Officer. And in 1915, he published another novel, The Rainbow, which was quite sexually explicit for the time. Critics harshly condemned The Rainbow for its sexual content, and the book was soon banned for obscenity. In 1920, he revised and published Women in Love, which he considered the second half of The Rainbow. He also edited a series of short stories that he had written during the war, which were published under the title My England and Other Stories in 1922. His last work is Lady Chatterley's Lover, published in 1927. Death and legacy of Lawrence. Lawrence died in Venice, France on March 2, 1930 at the age of 44. Revealed as a crude and pornographic writer for much of the later part of his life, Lawrence is now widely considered, alongside James Joyce and Virginia Woolf, as one of the great modernist English language writers. Lawrence himself considered his writings an attempt to challenge and expose what he saw as the constrictive and oppressive cultural norms of modern Western cultures. He once said, "If there weren't so many lies in the world, I wouldn't write at all." Introduction to The Rainbow, a brief summary. The Rainbow is a novel by British author D.H. Lawrence, or David Herbert Lawrence, first published in 1915. It follows three generations of the Brangwen family living in Nottinghamshire, particularly focusing on the individual's struggle to growth and fulfillment within the confining strictures of English social life. Lawrence's 1920 novel Women in Love is a sequel to The Rainbow. Lesson 3: Introduction to Characters, Plot and Settings. Characters in The Rainbow: Tom Brangwen, Lydia Lansky, Tilly, Anna Lansky, William Brangwen, Ursula Brangwen. These are the major characters throughout the three generations in the novel The Rainbow. Tom Brangwen is a substantial English farmer. Lydia Lansky, a Polish widow from an aristocratic land-owning family, lonely for a man's love and reduced to being a housekeeper in a vicarage. She readily accepts Tom Brangwen as a husband. Tilly, the Brangwens' cross-eyed housekeeper, a woman with a strong affection for Tom Brangwen. Anna Lansky, Lydia Lansky's daughter by her first husband. William Brangwen, or Will Brangwen, shortly known as Will, Tom Brangwen's nephew, a lace designer in a factory. He marries Anna Lansky, who soon comes to dominate his whole existence. Ursula Brangwen, the oldest child of William Brangwen and Anna Lansky. She takes Anton Skrevansky as her lover. She has loved him many years, during most of which he has been absent in Africa, fighting in the Boer War. During his absence, Ursula's one experience in love is an affair with one of her high school teachers, the lesbian one, Miss Inger. Anna wants too many of love and demands too. Lesson 3: Characters, Plot and Settings in The Rainbow. Plot of The Rainbow. The Rainbow tells the story of three generations of the Brangwen family, a dynasty of farmers and craftsmen who live in the East Midlands of England, on the borders of Nottinghamshire and Derbyshire. The book spans a period of roughly 65 years, from the 1840s to 1905, covering three generations, and shows how the love relationships of the Brangwens change against the backdrop of the increasing industrialization of Britain. The first central character, Tom Brangwen, is a farmer whose experience of the world does not stretch beyond these two counties, Nottinghamshire and Derbyshire. The local village area is called counties in England. While the last, Ursula, his granddaughter, studies at a university and becomes a teacher in the progressively urbanized capitalist and industrial world. Plot continues. The book starts with a description of the Brangwen dynasty, then deals with how Tom Brangwen, one of several brothers, fell in love with a Polish refugee and widow, Lydia. The next part of the book deals with Lydia's daughter by her first husband, Anna, and her destructive battle-riven relationship with her husband, Will, the son of one of Tom's brothers. The last and most extended part of the book, and also probably the most famous, then deals with Will and Anna's daughter, Ursula, and her struggle to find fulfillment for her passionate, spiritual and sensual nature against the confines of the increasingly materialist and conformist society around her. She experiences a same-sex relationship with a teacher, the lesbian one, and a passionate but ultimately doomed love affair with Anton Skrzynski, a British soldier of Polish ancestry. At the end of the book, having failed to find her fulfillment in Skrzynski, she has a vision of a rainbow towering over the earth, promising a new dawn for humanity. She saw in the rainbow the earth's new architecture, the old brittle corruption of houses and factories swept away, the world built up in a living fabric of truth fitting to the overarching heaven. The plot of the rainbow inserts. Now the settings. Get familiar with the settings of the rainbow. The rainbow tells the story of 3 generations of the Brangwen family, a dynasty of farmers and craftsmen who live in the East Midlands of England, on the borders of Nottinghamshire and Derbyshire. So the Nottinghamshire and Derbyshire of England are the place or settings, one of the settings of the rainbow, and the time is 1840 to 1900, and the second half of the 18th century, second half of the 19th century, 18th century, second half of the 19th century. And publication did 1915. The number of the pages of the novel is 465. So now get familiar with the summary, chapter wise summary. In this week you will learn the summary from chapter 1 to chapter 5. Chapter 1, the rainbow chronicles 3 generations of Brangwens living in their marsh farm. Sexually stormy marriages set the stage for conflict and for power struggles within the home. Tradition, passion, children, compromise define the Brangwen clan, giving its members both happiness and sadness. Ursula Brangwen, the granddaughter of the original Brangwens, takes on the pressure of the upbringing in order to experience life and love on her own terms. Chapter 2, summary. Lydia Lansky is the daughter of a Polish landowner who is married to a revolutionary Polish doctor. Much of her married life revolves around the revolution as she follows her husband into exile. Her husband dies shortly after the birth of their daughter in London. Lydia's first job is as a nurse in Yorkshire. During this time, Lydia lives in a deep depression, barely registering anything around her. After arriving in Cossette, she feels an attraction to Tom in the midst of a depression. Chapter 3, summary. Lydia gives birth to a boy, Tom Jr. Tom and Anna continue bonding as the relationship between Tom and Lydia falls apart. Tom takes Anna on his business errands, including the market day trips that he makes once a week. The relationship between Tom and Lydia is tense, with each of them feeling rejected by the other, but at a loss of reconnect. They do not understand each other because of the different cultures and their silent natures. Summary of chapter 4. Anna is sent to the girls' school in town, but she does not make any friends and remains separate from the other town's people. She looks down on everyone around her, though she does does not do well in school. One person of interest is Baron Scrivensky, another Polish exile who Anna visits with her mother. The Baron has not adjusted to English life the way that Lydia has, and resents Lydia and Anna for not maintaining their Polish heritage. Anna grows up as an outsider in the town and wants a more ladylike existence for herself. She is only comfortable around her family. Anna's wedding day arrives. Chapter 5 now. The ceremony is complicated and the reception brings all the family together. Everyone enjoys the reception and many of the men get very drunk. Tom makes a long speech about the need for marriage. This speech reveals a lot about Tom's own marriage, including the essential division between men and women. The newlyweds live amidst the advice and well-wishing of the family. The men of the group go out and serenade the newlywed couple outside their window. That's the end of the lesson of week 8. Thank you very much for being with me throughout this lecture. Bye bye.